The lights were bright. The cameras were rolling. And what started as a routine conversation on The View quickly turned into one of the most uncomfortable moments the show has seen in a long time. It was supposed to be a casual interview. Legendary actor Harrison Ford had joined the panel to talk about his latest project and reflect on his decades-long career in Hollywood. The mood at first was light. The audience applauded as Ford walked onto the stage, greeted the hosts, and took his seat at the famous table. Across from him sat longtime host Joy Behar, known for her sharp wit, strong opinions, and fearless commentary. At first, everything seemed normal. The hosts asked Ford about his career, his iconic roles, and what keeps him motivated after so many years in the industry. Ford answered calmly, occasionally cracking a dry joke that made the audience laugh. But then the conversation shifted. Joy Behar leaned forward slightly, her tone becoming more pointed. She began asking questions that moved away from movies and toward broader cultural topics, something the show often does. At first, Ford responded politely. But viewers could sense the energy at the table beginning to change. Behar pressed him on certain issues, challenging some comments he had made in past interviews. Her tone wasn't necessarily hostile, but it was direct, very direct. Ford listened quietly. And then he responded. His reply was calm, measured, and unmistakably firm. Instead of getting defensive, he pushed back on the premise of the question itself. He explained his perspective clearly and respectfully, but there was a noticeable edge in his voice. The audience shifted in their seats. The rest of the panel looked between Ford and Behar, sensing that the conversation had taken a serious turn. Joy Behar wasn't backing down. She leaned in again and challenged Ford's response, suggesting that his perspective might be missing something important. For a moment, the discussion felt like a normal debate. But then something changed. Ford paused. He looked directly at Behar. And when he spoke again, his tone was still calm, but much more direct. He made it clear that he didn't appreciate the way his comments were being framed. He said he believed the discussion deserved more nuance than the quick assumptions being thrown around at the table. The studio suddenly grew quiet. You could almost feel the tension in the air. Ford wasn't raising his voice. He wasn't angry. But he was absolutely standing his ground. And that's when the moment everyone remembers happened. Behar attempted to jump back in with another rebuttal, but Ford calmly finished his point first. His response was sharp, concise, and impossible to ignore. The audience reaction was immediate. Some people gasped. Others clapped. The rest of the panel sat silently, watching the exchange unfold in real time. For a few seconds, nobody spoke. The cameras kept rolling. Joy Behar leaned back in her chair, clearly processing what had just happened. She tried to lighten the mood with a quick remark, but the tension in the room was still thick. Ford didn't react emotionally. He simply sat there, composed, waiting for the conversation to move forward. The silence lasted longer than anyone expected. Finally, another host stepped in and tried to shift the conversation back to safer ground, asking Ford about his upcoming film and the experience of returning to the big screen. The audience applauded again, relieved that the tension had eased. But the moment had already happened. Clips of the exchange began circulating online almost immediately. Viewers started debating what they had just seen. Some people praised Ford for staying calm and refusing to back down during a tough line of questioning. Others defended Joy Behar, arguing that challenging guests is part of what makes the show engaging. Within hours, social media was buzzing. People were replaying the clip, analyzing every word, every pause, and every expression. Was it a respectful debate? Or was it a rare moment where the tension of live television finally boiled over? The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. Live TV is unpredictable. When strong personalities share the same table, disagreements are bound to happen. And that's part of what keeps audiences watching. But what made this moment stand out wasn't shouting or chaos. It was the silence. The kind of silence that only happens when everyone in the room realizes something real just happened. No script. No rehearsed lines. Just two people standing firmly behind their perspectives. For Harrison Ford, it was another example of the calm confidence he's known for. For Joy Behar, it was another intense moment in a long career of passionate debates on daytime television. And for viewers, it was a reminder that live television can still surprise us. Because sometimes the most powerful moment is when someone raises their voice. It's when someone speaks calmly, and the entire studio goes silent. So what do you think? Did Harrison Ford handle the moment perfectly? Or was Joy Behar simply doing what hosts are supposed to do, asking tough questions? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy moments like this from live television, make sure to subscribe to Hot Seat Highlights for more intense debates, viral talk show moments, and unforgettable interviews. Because when the pressure is on and the cameras are rolling, you never know what might happen next. Clap or fire.